As everybody looks forward to this election year to be finally over, I want to talk to you about the Republican candidates. It's easier to do this now than a couple of months ago when the Republican field looked like the starting lineup at the Boston Marathon. First, so you get an idea of my background, I am currently a registered Republican and slightly conservative in wanting the government to be smaller and spending within their means. I know, quite a concept, huh? Anyway, as you'll see, I don't buy into all the Republican Kool-Aid. Sometimes it is more like the stuff Jim Jones fed his followers. And if you don't understand that reference, Google it. Anyway, first of all, Donald Trump, the Donald. I have always thought that having a proven businessman in the White House would be good for the country. A good CEO would understand what is needed to make deals and get the job done. Now, according to Donald, he's the greatest deal maker in the world. He's the greatest everything in the world. So, that being said, if Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, I'll need to vote for somebody else. There is no way I want a bully as my president. Donald Trump feeds into the anger and prejudice we have in America. All of it. Look, I hate how Washington operates, but you do not control a fire by throwing kerosene on it. Do you remember in Return of the Jedi when the Emperor tells Luke Skywalker to feed into his hate? That is exactly what Donald Trump does. I say that a world full of ignorant people is a dangerous place to live. Donald Trump personifies that concept. Have you ever really listened to him? I never saw anyone better at not answering a question. He just changes the subject. He has no solid plan of solving anything. It is always, believe me, we'll fix it. Or, I'll have the best people on it. Or, that idea has me worried. Donald Trump is the poster boy of style over substance. There is no substance. What would he do when dealing with other world leaders? Outshout them? Or would he do what he threatens when one of his opponents takes him to task? Threaten to sue? I can see it now in the Kremlin. Mr. Putin, President Trump just sued us for taking over the Ukraine. In my opinion, Donald Trump is one henchman away from being a James Bond villain. Then you have Ted Cruz. He's that henchman. This is a man who effectively closed down our government as a weapon and then said, "Who, me?" One of our problems in government is the lack of the ability to even listen to compromise. Ted Cruz is the epitome of that philosophy. If I can't have my way, I'm taking my ball and going home. That's his attitude. That is why very few things ever get done in Washington. This may hurt a lot of people's feelings, but compromise has been part of this country since 1776. Without compromise, we'd still be British subjects. We'd be playing and watching soccer and cricket instead of football and baseball. Ted Cruz carries around the Constitution in his pocket. That document has compromise written all over it. For a short time in the Senate, Ted Cruz proves he doesn't play well with others. Then we have Marco Rubio. He is certainly more appealing than the other two, but I am still trying to get a handle on what he believes and how he'll run things. It bothers me that he seems to look at his time in the Senate as a stepping stone to the presidency, rather than using his office to help shape policy. I mean, that's what he's there for. Looking back over the last 100 years, our presidents have been people with a great deal of experience in the nitty-gritty of making government work. Not all of them were good, but they understood the mechanics of what it means to govern in this country. There are two exceptions to that. One was Dwight Eisenhower, but he successfully led countries and brought them together and all of their military personnel to overthrow the Nazis. He understood how to get people to work together. The other exception is Barack Obama. He was a short-term senator who became president. Sound familiar? Anyway, guess what? I'm still waiting for him to grow into the job. Obviously, I'm not happy with the Republican choices for president. By the time New Jersey, where I live, finally has their primary in June, the candidate is usually known. What I advocate to all voters is to stop listening to sound bites and see what the candidates are actually advocating before you make a decision. Unfortunately, our country has an American Idol mentality when it comes to selecting our leaders. Smart men like Trump feed on that, and that is why he has such a lead in the polls. Remember, slogans and platitudes aren't worth your spit if there's nothing solid behind them. I think the country is only going to change when we stop allowing the BS that passes for politics to rule the day. Remember, you are looking to elect our President of the United States. It's not a dictator.